Hello, 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 and welcome to Emotional Response. This is Life Coaching with Ink. This is Ivory. Hello. I'm always excited to be joining y'all again, mainly because we're growing together. And I know that sounds redundant, but if I can't put anything else in your mind, I want to put that, mainly because I don't want anyone or everyone to ever get to a point where they think they are above growing. You could obtain a certain level of knowledge. You can experience a certain level of life. And still, there's always room to grow. An 85-year-old man taught me that. And when I met him, he was up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, why are you up and vibrant as much as we were? And we were in our 20s. And he turned and said, I'm always growing. I'm always learning. And so that's how you keep your youth. That's how you keep your youth. The minute you become stagnant and unmovable, that's the minute you start withering away. Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. Dementia is a sign, or not a sign, can stem from, it's not all inclusive because I don't want you to quote me like a doctor, but one of the things that can lead to dementia is a lack of operation of the brain. And so you always want to be in a mode of being challenged, being ever growing and developing as a human. Because let me tell you this one thing for certain. When you grow, your relationship grows. Your job grows. Your career grows. You flourish as an individual. And that in itself is exciting. That in itself makes you stand into anticipation with life and wanting to grow even more. Today I even put up in my Snap stories pictures of clouds, how beautiful they are. Sometimes you gotta take a moment, and it's not always just listening to words, but it's also things that you see in your everyday life that you overlook. You get so accustomed to things being placed where they are on a regular basis that you forget to look at the beauty of them. I know it's a message that someone needs to hear in this. Just because the clouds sit up where they're supposed to sit up, that don't mean they're just as amazing as they were when you opened your eyes when you was a little kid and you saw them. They're still amazing, and you got to stop and take moments and look at the beauty, the craft. The best artistry comes from God, who designed it. And those that are not connected to my Instagram, you can go on life_coaching_INK. I think it's up for a couple more hours. And I encourage others to look at it, because a painting may be able to duplicate it, but to see it with your own eyes in real life, it can't be remade. That moment can't be remade. And so there are things in your life, though they're placed in the proper way, whether it's your significant other, whether it's your job, whether it's a project, whether it's your dream coming into fruition, and it's just been consistently moving, and you don't stop for a moment and look at the beauty of it. Check yourself. Take that 5-second moment and admire it. Admire that person that's in your life. Admire that thing that's going on, that's consistently going on. take moments to stand back and enjoy the things that you might see on a regular basis. But you forget just how beautiful they are. So, my topic today is going to be a 2-part series. I'm going to skate on it a little bit, mainly because this podcast is being recorded at such a late time. And then I will dive into it deeply on Thursday. But my topic tonight is choosing your battles. Choosing your battles. A lot of people, especially in this day and age, they're running directly into the line of fire because there is so many people running, ripping, breaking their neck, and going into the line of fire. Not thinking strategically of the rippling effects of jumping into the line of fire. And that's what I mean with picking your battles. Because when you address things and you stir up conflict and you tend to turmoil, think of the rippling effect. Think of the consequences. Think of the pros and cons. What could happen, what couldn't happen. Mainly because people are losing their lives. People are losing their lives. And some people are not physically losing their lives, but they're mentally losing their lives because there's so much power in the tongue. There's life and death. You can speak 1,000 years of life into someone, and then you can also kill 1,000 years of life with your tongue. So you have to be mindful. And things can make you upset, and that's okay. I will never discourage any of your feelings, but it's what you do with your feelings that divides the line between maturity and immaturity. Because people are walking around with a sense of entitlement now, thinking, well, that's how I feel, or this is what brought me to this place, so let me do X, Y, and Z, or let me say X, Y, and Z. And the thing about that, what makes that stance so wrong is that you can't predict the outcome of your that's how I feel or that's what I want to do. You can't collectively guarantee that a certain consequence or a certain reaction it will deliver. And you have to be mindful of that. You have to strategically move in life in such a way that it benefits you. Not just benefit you, but benefit others. Choosing your battles. Knowing how to say it and when to say it. I always encourage, you might feel angry, but that doesn't mean at the point when you're angry, you're supposed to discuss what you're angry about. Because one thing that tends to happen when people are angry or when they're drunk, they speak so candid and so freely and so loose that things are magnified to the umpteenth level. And so your feelings are valid and you might say something or do something. But when you do it while you're angry, you void out the option to consider the other person's heart. And that's where you come to a demise. Because before anything, we're supposed to be loving. Even the most mean person, it only takes 2 seconds to be compassionate, to have empathy. Because everyone deserves empathy, regardless what they went through or what they didn't go through. And then you also have to consider even the most hard-shell person, what made them form a hard shell. And so when you think about those things, you have to stand back and you have to think about your words. And then if someone is pressing your boundaries where their words are not beneficial to your existence, and I hate to say it that way, but I have to say it that way, so you think of the full scope of it. Like, why is she being so lofty in her words? I have to, just so you look at the full scope of things. They attack your existence. That's what happens. That's what happens with words. When they offend you, they attack your existence. And your existence becomes threatened. And so you retaliate 20 times out of 20 in a way to offend and attack them. And so knowing that up front, before anything escalates to something that you can't handle or they can't handle, vocalize. Okay, I'm at an offended point. Let me pull back. Let us either stop this discussion or you take control of your words and begin to deliver at a more considerate rate. Excuse my words. You know, I'm very candid in my errors and in my flaws. So I will sound like, what's it called? Elmer Fudd with the slurring of words or mumble jumble of words, but they're just the little imperfections that you'll see and hear from me. So the long and short, be mindful of your words. When it comes to choosing your battles, this is a clean-cut process that should go on. Something upsets you. Something comes to your attention. Something saddens you. Whatever emotion that comes out, it has an intense emphasis behind it. And so you feel as though it needs to be addressed. You have to ask yourself, when and how? When should it be addressed and how should it be addressed? Because a person just coming in the door doesn't want to be attacked with everything that you've been brainstorming for 8 hours when you haven't been with them. Their mind has been somewhere else. So your delivery is very key. And then how? How? But I kind of tie both of them in with that analogy. Because the how and the when, okay, a person just getting off 8 hours, haven't seen you all day. You shouldn't be swinging all these different issues towards them. Let them get in the door first. Let them get situated. And then the how, delivery, it plays a significant role. You want to make sure people hear the message more than the emotion. Let me say that again. You want to make sure people hear the message